y'all. Shout out all my birds, my dogs, any freaks and savages out there. I'm back. Let's go. What's up, guys? I know I've been gone for a minute, but welcome to another episode of Tune for Your Head Top. Should be a singer, right? But anyway, listen, man, please subscribe to the channel. Drop a like. In today's episode, I'm actually going to be doing a reaction on an episode that was released a few days ago by First Take, titling, "Did the Last Dance Put More Pressure on the King himself, LeBron James, aka LBJ, aka, Savage, aka," let's just get right to it.
With
Sometimes
the
I just like
of the Last
tuning
Dance
in, listening
docuseries,
to
how
Molly
much pressure
talk.
do you think
Absolutely
is
baddie.
on LeBron now that the younger audience got to
First
get
Take
the
has
real
done
deal
right.
about MJ?
More. It ratcheted up the pressure. First of all, the passing thing, I understand there are a lot of Jordan fans. Jordan was a pinpoint passer, but LeBron James is a genius passer. Clearly,
okay,
LeBron
I don't know
James
what that
is a
was.
superior
That just
passer.
made that sound, but anyway, LeBron James is up there as far as assists go. I think he actually beats Michael Jordan in assists per game. LeBron over his career averaging 7, while Michael Jordan's averaging 5.
Yeah, of course.
But
Jordan's
look at that
superior
jump shot.
basically everything else.
Fluid,
Better
wet.
handles, better score,
Like, look how easy it
better
is for
shooter.
him just to get inside the
Clutch
paint.
was for his
Throwing
size,
elbows.
a
I don't
better
know,
rebounder.
what it is, but he's just so much bigger than everyone when it comes to, playing, and especially at his position. What, 6'8", 240, 230 maybe? I don't know exactly, LeBron's height and weight, but that's a big boy coming into the lane, or having to guard when you're up against him. So, shout out to whoever, locks him down.
Michael Jordan
look at
averaged
him.
32, 8, and 8. Back when that was like impossible to do. There are more possessions now, and ball dominant players can rack up bigger numbers.
So
now.
that's actually a good point that Max brings up right there as far as ball dominant players. That just proves to you how much better the competition is now. You have Russell Westbrook, you have James Harden, you have Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, bucket scorers, you have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Back then, it was kind of a miracle if you averaged 100 points a game. Back in the 80s and the 90s, 85 to 90 points were being scored every game. So the fact that these guys are going into games lighting it up for 120 points a game is absolutely crazy. I mean, it shows you how much, offensive oriented it is now.
Are they laughing at us?
No, Patrick. They're laughing next to us.
But, the fact that, you're able to drop buckets now, how easy it is, especially, with the amount of fouls. I mean, it was a lot harder back then. It wasn't a lot harder back then. It was more physical back then, I should say. But, as far as ball-dominant players, like Max said, there's a lot more now. So that just proves to you how much better LeBron is. Shout out to this steal right here by Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan
decided to do this.
But I don't know why you have a Scottie Pippen highlight right there when it's all about MJ.
Led his Cavaliers
but alright.
back to winning Game 7 at Oracle.
That was a fresh move. I saw that, in the Last Dance.
That's coincidence?
But like I said, Max brings up another good point right now with the 73-9 Warriors. I give both LeBron and Michael Jordan a lot of credit, simply in the fact that they both had to play some really good teams getting into the finals. Mostly when LeBron was early with the Cavaliers, it was kind of tough going up against the Orlando Magic and having, the powerhouse and Dwight Howard and, some key players. But LeBron at the time, who do you have? Daniel Gibson, Mo Williams, Anderson Varejao, some guys you don't even know. And even the Boston Celtics. 4 out of 5, maybe 5. I don't know if Kendrick Perkins is going to be a Hall of Famer. But, you had Rajon Rondo, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo.
What kind of shit is that?
Likewise for, Michael Jordan, he had to go up against the Boston Celtics. He had to go up against the bad boy Pistons. But once he got past those, it was easy sailing. For LeBron, once he left, he did this decision.
This fall, man, this is very tough. And this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
But once he got to the finals, he still had to verse some pretty incredible teams. You had to verse the Spurs that have potentially 5 Hall of Famers right there. You had to go up against the Oklahoma City Thunder with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden. You had to go up against, the Golden State Warriors that just posted a monumental record in 73-9. And then, then they get Kevin Durant. So imagine having to play those teams in the final versus Michael Jordan having to play, washed up Utah Jazz, a late out of their prime Los Angeles Lakers.
Now that LeBron, remember LeBron, the Jordan ship had sailed when he choked it away in four
I'll give you what, the Dallas Mavericks that year, very underrated.
Finals,
Jason Terry was breaking records.
Right.
Jason Kidd was still in his prime, and obviously the man himself, Dirk Nowitzki, was completely lighting it up on Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh and Udonis Haslem could not handle that noise, unfortunately.
Jordan's ship has sailed. But LeBron
LeBron has showed us that even when he's been down, he's come back somehow. He's found a way, and that's what the greatest players do. They don't quit. They don't back down from a fight. They just get right back up and they say, let's get to it.
Michael Jordan kind of numbers in the playoffs.
Scratching nose. By the way, fade check. Shout out my boy Andre. Hit him up.
In LeBron's crowning achievement, Michael says, yeah, let's go forward with it now. And now, during this...
and this is actually another point that Max brings up that I just want to get at him real quick.
And now with a captive audience, essentially, is doing monster numbers for a documentary. It's doing a 6 rating, which is a monster.
Okay. So you're telling me, as a basketball fan, right? Let's just listen in on this, right? As a basketball fan, right? You're not going to tune in and listen to Michael Jordan's documentary, even if it wasn't quarantine. Michael Jordan was the greatest player at that time, and the fact that it is receiving huge numbers is not a surprise. As a basketball fan, you would want to tune in and listen to something like this or watch something like this. If Magic Johnson came out with a documentary, if R.I.P. Kobe Bryant, but if he came out with a documentary, you're gonna watch that. If Luke Walton, most of you people don't even know who Luke Walton is. If he came out with a documentary about, his dad being a coach and then him somehow, finding a way to get into the NBA, you wouldn't watch that, You know what I'm saying? So the fact that Michael Jordan came out with a documentary, we all want to tune in and listen to it. When LeBron James comes out with a documentary, guess what? We're all going to watch it. So Max bringing up this point about the reason it's getting so much numbers is because of quarantine really isn't valid.
But when you include time-shifted ratings,
people to be honest, people are gonna watch no matter what, even if they have a DVR, Fire Stick, any of that stuff. Demand.
So everyone is seeing Jordan's greatness, and guys, unlike so many others, where distance, increases the mythology of a player. In fact, with Jordan, the more you find out about him, his greatness has been smoothed out over time. Because Kobe approximated it. Well, maybe Shaq was down. No, Jordan was better.
You're right, Jordan. So sometimes with the argument about the greatest basketball player of all time, it can get a little interesting. My point being simply because, especially when you look at football, right? You never say who the greatest football player is of all time. And I feel like for basketball, that's kind of the same way we gotta, treat the sport. We can't say the greatest basketball player of all time. I personally believe, in my personal opinion, I think you need to start saying the greatest point guard of all time, the greatest shooting guard, and obviously down the list of the starting 5. LeBron James is the greatest small forward that's ever played the game. Michael Jordan is the greatest shooting guard that's ever played, followed by Kobe Bryant. It's LeBron, then you could argue Larry Bird or Scottie Pippen, one of the two. But as far as this argument goes about who's the greatest basketball player of all time, it gets very tough because, different positions. You can't compare a point guard to a center. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying you can't compare a quarterback to a receiver. You can't say Tom Brady was greater than Jerry Rice. They played two different, totally different positions. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Maybe there's also a lot of more positions in football than there is basketball, and about how, ball dominant it is and how you can kind of take control. But at the end of the day, you still need 5 players in order to win. It's not wrestling. It's not golf. It's not tennis. So you still need a team effort and everyone, contributing in order to accomplish your goal. And the fact that it is team oriented. The fact that, when Michael Jordan left to go play baseball, right, the Chicago Bulls were still good. They were, I think, number 3 or 4 seed without him. When LeBron James left the Cleveland Cavaliers, they were a lottery team. How do you go from number 1 in the East to being a lottery team? That speaks volume, a lot of volume. But let's get right back to it.
Everybody, and the closer up you see it, the more you get it. it is now on LeBron.
It's always been about, it's always been on LeBron ever since he's gotten into the NBA, and he's gonna win it this year. They were gonna. I mean, if they resume this year, they're gonna win it again. He's gonna win, especially with AD now. There's no excuse. Although AD hasn't really been in the finals, and it's a whole nother level once you get there. If you haven't been in the finals, if you don't know what it is, it's a lot more pressure. Excuse me. Awkward pause.
My opinion is that anybody who knows basketball, there's very limited pressure.
Shout out Stephen A. Smith. Always love tuning into him.
Dance, because the Last Dance didn't tell us anything that we don't know as it pertains to our belief about Jordan compared to LeBron. As far as I'm concerned, LeBron losing 6 championships, the discussion ends right there. Jordan has 6 NBA Finals MVPs and is undefeated in championship play, where LeBron James has been there 9 times. But
when he played, some of the guys just didn't show up. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love missing, due to injuries. Some of these guys weren't performing, correctly. When, like I said, when Michael Jordan got to the finals, it was a lot easier. You had washed up Jazz. I forgot who else he played. You had the Lakers, but they were done, dude. Magic Johnson, he just wasn't the same self anymore. All these great teams started evolving when LeBron got there. People teamed up. Kevin Durant went to the Golden State Warriors simply just to beat LeBron James, because they knew LeBron James was going to make it to the finals again. In a press conference with DeMar DeRozan, he simply said that it's tough to make it to the finals when you have to go up against LeBron James. When he went to the finals, he was versing teams that had, literally, he was versing the Spurs that have 5 future Hall of Famers. 5 future Hall of Famers. Their starting lineup is going to be all Hall of Famers. That's crazy.
Do you understand that LeBron James is 35 years of age? In his 17th year
he's getting
in the NBA,
old, man.
And the only
as a basketball fan, that's something that you definitely want to, do. You want to go see him play before his time's up, before he's gone and doing other stuff off the court. That's something you definitely got to go see, especially with LeBron being that old. I think if he wins a championship, 4 more years max. That's it. It's the last we see of him.
Let's understand something. LeBron will never be MJ as a basketball player on the court, as far as I'm concerned.
You can't compare them.
Every other category,
I want to see on some of the stuff we shouldn't be comparing them anymore. 2 different players, 2 different styles of play. You can compare Michael Jordan to Kobe Bryant, but LeBron is in his own category as far as being able to pass, like Max said, as far as being able to rebound, as far as being able to play defense. I know he's slacked a little bit the last few years, but LeBron has had to do so much on the offensive side of the board that you can give up playing defense. They average 120 points. Awkward pause.
I think there is pressure on LeBron James.
It's always been pressure on LeBron James. Thank you, Jay Williams.
All the time now, especially if this season kicks off, guys, in the next month or so, or month and a half.
Hopefully it does resume back to play, man. Missing sports, Life was so simple before this whole coronavirus. I mean, I hope everyone's staying safe out there. Stay safe in these streets. 6 feet. Make sure you got your gloves and your mask. And, do your thing.
On the tail end of this documentary. But I will say, there should be pressure on LeBron James. There's always pressure on LeBron James. And guys, pressure makes diamonds.
That's a nugget. If that's something that you guys remember from this whole little reaction, pressure makes diamonds. Ooh, that was straight fire. That's a nugget. That's a nugget.
And if you're LeBron James,
okay, Jay Williams, I see you.
First off,
oh my God,
said that LeBron James is very passive, and regardless of whether you have him as your best player or Michael Jordan as your best player.
Replay that, please. Pause. Oh, damn. Okay, LBJ, I see you.
One of the things I've always seen a knock on LeBron is having that kind of attitude where it's like in your face like Michael. Well, we get gist of that all the time. We got a gist of it when, I forget, he was doing some kind of docu-series where it's him and Randy and a couple of his other guys.
And that's also to another point too, is why do we hate LeBron when he mentions that he's the greatest basketball player at the time? No one gave any hate, showed any, everyone showed love to Derrick Rose when he won his MVP, and he said, I just feel the way I feel because I'm the greatest basketball player right now. Like, we all said, wow, Derrick Rose, like, that was awesome. Like, why didn't we give him any hate? Why didn't we, bash on him for doing, you know, saying what he said, but when LeBron said, "I'm not worried, I'm the greatest basketball player,"
so I think Max,
we all were like, "Nah, dude, it's fucked up."
Yeah, pressure, but LeBron should want that pressure. That's why LeBron is LeBron.
But yeah,
James.
definitely LeBron wants that pressure, and he enjoys it, man. Especially with social media now, it's a lot easier to get in the eyes of people simply because how easy it is to kind of distribute highlights and all that stuff out, you know, Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff. You miss a jump shot, you miss a layup, it's all over, man. So I think LeBron has a lot more pressure than MJ did. I also do truly believe that although these two had, you know, pressures of, you know, of however extreme, however high it was at the time, I think Bronny James is going to have the most pressure. Just simply the fact that, you know, he's going to have to fill in his father's footsteps. He's going to have to live up to the hype of being, you know, as good as, if not even better than his dad. So I think he'll have the most pressure compared to all, you know, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, like I said in the beginning, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Tell your friends. I hope you guys are all staying safe during this coronavirus. And before you know it, we'll be back and we'll be doing our normal thing. So, peace.